Welcome back to the Get Off the Treadmill podcast for small business owners and entrepreneurs, where we show you how to build a successful business and to have a life too. We're going to dive into another topic that helps us make more money in less time and to get off the treadmill so we can experience a life of significance. And now, your host and the author of the #1 best-selling business book, Making Money is Killing Your Business, Chuck Blakeman.
Today I'm with Lynn Whitbeck. She is the queen of joyful sales. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire Lynn to ignite winning sales because most fail to connect, capture, and close their clients. Lynn is the founder and CEO of Petite to Queen and host of Claim Your Career Crown and the Get More Clients show, streaming on Amazon, Fire, Roku, Apple TV. She loves visiting national parks, cooking, and playing Pokemon Go. Welcome, Lynn. It's great to have you on our show.
Chuck, I'm so thrilled to be here with you and to be with you again.
Yay. Well, let's do this. Today, we're going to talk about making sales joyful. Boy, that's so prescient, so necessary. I know most business owners and entrepreneurs, I know, don't like sales. When we read all these books and all the books tell us, we're going to show you, if you don't like sales, we're going to show you how to like sales. I still don't like sales, but that doesn't mean it can't be joyful. So what do you mean by making sales joyful? What's your broad sweep on that? Well, how did you even get to that? Start there.
Okay, well, the first place is when you approach sales with worthy intent. And this means that you truly desire to help and serve your clients and create lasting impact. Well, doesn't that fill you up with joy when you think about the difference that you're making for themselves personally or for their business, for their team, for their community, for their clients, right?
So my objective is not to just separate them from their money. That's not it.
Yeah. If that's your objective, then there's nothing worthy about that.
That's not joyful and that's not worthy. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so that's the sleazy, slimy side of sales, which everyone has experienced.
Yeah.
But when
I've done it.
But when you truly desire to help and serve your clients and make that lasting impact, that's where you do feel that joy. Because when you're doing that and you're working with people, it's like I took something off their desk that they don't have to deal with, they don't have to think about again, and it's done. I've got their back. If something comes up, I'm going to take care of it for them. And that's a gift. It really is a gift that you're giving to your clients and to yourself because, it's just how you make your own self. You just brighten yourself up. And for me, it fulfills me. It fills my heart. And I love helping and serving people. And I do that through sales.
Lynn, I think you hit on something that most business owners need to probably would benefit all of us from just paying a little more attention to connecting what we sell to how it would truly benefit the other person. Not just, it's a better piece of software or it's a better shoe, but what it would actually do for the other person, that worthy intent idea that I'm here to actually make their lives better. I think we forget that sometimes. We get awkward about, and maybe not even, we get hesitant about sales because we're not sure they even want what we have, when in fact what we have probably could really be helpful. We just need to get that mindset. I love that.
Yeah, and truly, if you're not working for a company or a product or service that you have that kind of confidence in, that you can see the results, then you need to find another company, product or service to be selling. Because from the day that I was a young girl and I first got the opportunity to sell Girl Scout cookies, right? I believed in the Girl Scouts. I loved, from being a brownie to being a Girl Scouts. I loved the organization. I was so excited to sell those cookies. And that year we had this special cookie badge that you had to sell a truckload of cookies. But I loved the cookies. I loved the organization. And I came up with a plan. And there's a whole story behind that. But at the end of the cookie season, my friend Judy and I, who was the most shy, introverted person ever, we sold that truckload of cookies. And we were the youngest 2 girls in our state that year to get that special cookie badge. But when you feel that passion for how you are helping and serving people, and yes, they are cookies, but they bring a smile to your life. Who doesn't want to have that nice, you can get eat that samosa in the evening while you're watching TV, whatever it happens to be. So think about your product or service and the how that truly benefits your clients. What do they want, need, or lack? Why does it matter to them? What's in it for them? What problem does it solve? What solution does it provide? What thing that they wake up at 3 a.m. in a dead sweat? I mean, that thorn in the side, what is it going to do so they can what? I mean, I've got it right here. Oh, no, I don't have it, but nobody buys an iPhone to make a phone call, right? So they can what? And then what are the emotions and the motivations around that? And when you tap into that, now you really understand how your product or service serves them. You've got to reverse engineer it, not from your perspective. Yeah, because you're not the one who buys. It's your client who buys. So why does it matter to them?
Yeah,
Why does it matter?
yeah, and I think in saying that, you're touching on something deeper than, hey, I sold them a shoe or a piece of software, or I'm a better dentist than it's nobody really actually wants a hole in their tooth full. So, nobody wants a drill. They want a hole. Nobody wants a vacuum. They want a clean house. And sometimes we forget that we're not selling a vacuum or cookies. We're selling that idea that somebody can sit down, enjoy their TV, and have a cookie while it's the benefit after. You put out this this checklist. I don't know if it's 10 things, but get more clients checklist. Our people should check your website to get that. And the first thing on your list was, what does your client want, need, or lack? That's your worthy intent. It's not what can I sell them, right? But what do they need and want and lack? And that's sometimes it's not what we sell.
Yeah. And it is associated with, of course, our product or service. You've got to, know about that from your product or service. But, like me, I'm a sales consultant. Well, I'm a joyful sales consultant. If you don't want to be around happy, cheerful people, then don't come talk to me, right? Because that's not going to be a good fit right off the bat. If you don't have worthy intent, if you don't truly desire to help and serve your clients, you're not going to become a client of mine. I'll do a no offer because it's like life's too short. So think about those things. And that's how you bring this magic together so that you can truly make a difference.
Okay, so worthy intent, that's one way to make things joyful. Am I actually doing this for them or for me? Am I trying to separate them from their money? Or am I actually serving them and figuring out what they need? That's going to make you more joyful when I actually got somebody what they wanted, they needed, or they lacked. That's going to make you joyful. And if you're going in considering that's what you want to do, then you start joyful. I love that. What else can make sales joyful?
To have a plan. Most people don't have a sales blueprint, a consistent, repeatable, scalable sales plan, right? Because they're doing it by the seat of their pants. It's sort of like this worked before. And when you put together a plan, all of a sudden it's a lot easier, right?
So
Certainly makes it more joyful.
I'm going to argue with you here, but really I'm just being snarky. Most people actually do have a plan. I know I did for years, and it's called the random hope strategy of business. I'm going to work really hard and I hope something good happens. It's like the pig pen strategy. I'm just going to kick up a bunch of dust and I hope something good happens. You said it, I am going with chaos. I'm going with whatever works. So we really do have a plan. It's a really bad one, right?
Yeah. So when you really look at strategically, who you are, your business, and who your ideal clients are, you have to bring those things all together to find out the best way to make those connections to attract and connect and then close and serve your ideal clients, because the sale doesn't stop when they say yes. That's just the beginning. And that's another way you make it joyful, is the experience that you give to your clients. That's joyful for both of you. And that's how you're going to get introductions, referrals, raving fans. And that really keeps that circle moving.
But worthy intent and having a plan to actually get them a great experience. Boy, that by itself ought to be enough to get us joyful, but I'm guessing there's a few more things.
Well, one thing is to be your authentic self.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I already sort of mentioned that, but don't try to be somebody else or to take on some kind of persona that you need to do. First of all, it's false. You're betraying your own self.
Yep.
And when you stand in your own power and who you are, that's going to attract the right people to you, right? And otherwise, it's like a mask that you're wearing. How can you be joyful when you're pretending? And when you're authentic in who you are, then you're going to attract the right people. You're going to be happy and showing up as your best self. And that makes you more joyful. It makes your clients more joyful because that's what they wanted. That's what they bought into, was to be around and be a part of that community.
And people they sense that they know when you're not being authentic. They know when you've got some kind of ulterior game to it. It took me years to figure this out, but I now call it, for myself, I call it commission breath. So people can smell it coming. It's like, you're not here for the right reasons. This isn't right. There's something wrong here. And there's that lack of authentic being myself. It's just not there when you got commission breath. So I really think that's, the people who are, my experience, see what you think, but the salespeople I know who are really worried about that tend not to be the ones who have a problem with it. It's the ones who don't worry about commission breath or not being authentic that probably should get some feedback. Right?
And it definitely works two ways. It's like, I mean, obviously being a sales consultant, people hear the word sales and it's like the barriers immediately go up. But I transition the context of the conversation to personal as soon as I can, because I want to get to know them as a person.
Yeah.
I'm not there to sell them the first time I meet someone. And in fact, I never expect to close sales after the first sort of sales meeting. I always expect people to process the information, have questions, want to have another conversation, because I feel that makes better decision making. That proves that they're going to be better clients because they're going to take action and execute on the strategy that we develop. There's nothing like working with somebody who's just chasing the shiny object. That leaves a bad taste in your mouth because you can't actually accomplish anything for them. But to your point, that's so true. And so I really want to get to know the other person. I want to ask them questions. I never pitched. So what I do is I keep asking questions. I wear my detective hat. And as it transitions into talking about business and work and sales, I'm still asking questions. And when they reach that point where it's a natural transition, the clients invite me to tell them about what it would be like to work with me, because I never pitch. So I'm invited in. That's a yes. That's a passive yes. They invite me in.
And I call that flipping the script. It's beautiful because we've all heard this for decades. Everybody wants to buy, but nobody wants to be sold. And when you're out there trying to sell, you're doing your script and you're pitching. That's selling. And I've never wanted anybody to do that to me. And I love how you flip the script. It's so simple. And yet I think we just gloss over this. I'm just going to stop on it for a second because I think this is part of the holy grail of being better at business development is stop selling, stop making your pitch and get to know the person and see what they're interested in, serve them, figure out what they want. And we all say that, we all hear that. You probably hear that all the time in sales, but do we really mean that? Do we really believe that right now, what I really want to know is you? And getting on that plane opens them up. It creates trust. And now they do want to buy from you. You're not selling anymore. So I just love that. I say this all the time, and I think I'm with you. I'm refreshed to hear somebody else say it. Don't pitch. Don't sell. Don't do it.
No, it is. It's about discovering what's going on and can you help and serve them? Is it a good fit? Do you want to help and serve them? And people talk about like niching. I niche by psychographics more than anything. It's like if someone doesn't care about their clients, their product or service, and what they deliver, they're not for me, because I want to work with people who have worthy intent. If they don't care about the relationships, they're a one-call closer, they're not for me, right? If they're not kind, they're not for me. And that's okay, because I can do a no offer, point them in another direction, and exit stage left with grace. But I want to work with people, and everyone. That's what brings you joy. Work with the people that you can truly serve. and that you're going to love working with, that you're going to build lifelong relationships with. Long after you've helped them and they've ceased becoming a client, they will be a promoter, a partner, a referral resource for you.
But Lynn, I'm afraid to work with just the people I like because I might starve to death, So I'm just going to work with anybody, even if it bothers me. Isn't that
And you're going to waste so much of your time, energy, and resources.
Yeah.
You're going to colossally waste your time, energy, and resources because that client who doesn't fit is going to cost you 80% of your time.
Well, and here's the other thing that I found in that you just triggered is that when I was too hungry in the unhelpful sense of it, I would get a client that I knew just wasn't a fit. And who else do they know? Birds of a feather. Yeah. And so now I'm in with a vein of people who are not a good fit. In a 2020 foresight, when I stopped doing that, I said no to people that it just wasn't going to be right. And I got with the people who really were a good fit. And who did they know? They know other people who are going to be a good fit. So it really does feed on itself. Don't go down the rabbit hole of, well, it's only one client. They're going to give me a lot of money. I've been there. It's not helpful, even in the short run most of the time, but definitely not in the long run. So I love that advice. Stick with people that you really connect with and you feel like, I can have this relationship and this works. We're in this.
Yeah. I'm going to put an analogy on it. Think of it if you're dating somebody who's just not right, but you're going to just keep dating them because you can at least go out and have dinner and all that. It means that you're not making yourself available for the right person.
Exactly.
And, and this goes back a long time because my late husband has, but I looked at dating as like I was going to find that perfect client. But in this case, and if there was anything I didn't like about somebody, I didn't question it. I didn't say why. I just stopped seeing them because that meant that I was wasting my time and eventually it took a year, but I met my perfect soulmate, incredibly happy marriage, even having to go through 3 years of cancer. It was, amazing. Not that part, but that was still there, you make the best of every situation and you look for there's always, there's either a shadow side or there is sunlight. You look for the sunlight. It's there.
Well, we can keep going. We just got the surface on what it means to be joyful in sales, but I love your perspective on this. I think too often we spend too much time on pain in sales when we ought to be spending the time on joy. So how can people get a hold of you?
Well, you mentioned my checklist. It's at petite to queen, the digit 2 queen.com/checklist. You can get my Get More Clients checklist. It will help you find the gaps, or areas that you could work on to help shore up your sales. And once you're there, there's lots of opportunities to connect with me.
Yeah, and I would encourage our listeners to do that. It's a simple download and well worth your time to get the checklist from Lynn and see how else she might be able to help you. Lynn, this has been way too short but a lot of fun and full of joy.
Thank you, Chuck. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
That wraps up another episode of the Get Off the Treadmill podcast. If you found this podcast helpful, please subscribe and hit the like button to ensure you are receiving the latest tools you need to grow your business and to get off the treadmill. If you want more information on the 3 to 5 Club, the Crankset Group, or to book Chuck as a business advisor, speaker, or workshop leader, you can contact us at grow@cranksetgroup.com. Until next time, have a great week.